Hello, welcome everyone. So thank you for joining us. This webinar is hosted by Johnson Controls. My name is Horace Lee, the product manager in Asia Pacific region. It's great to be here. We are pleased to also invite our global product manager here as our presenter to share new technologies. In today's webinar session, we will be sharing some of exciting new features of a new product in the Facility Explorer platform and see how your building operation get benefit from there with that new features. So we will be providing some Q&A session in the end of presentation. So during the presentation, feel free to drop your question in the Q&A chat room. So we will look into that in the Q&A session after the presentation. Then, all right, this time Yahir will share an exciting topic going forward. So Yahir.
Thank you, Horace. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Facility Explorer webinar. This is Yahya Kamil. I'm the Global Product Manager for Facility Explorer. And Horace and I today will be walking you through a lot of the exciting Facility Explorer updates and many features. Without further ado, let's look at what we have in our agenda. So our agenda today is divided into 5 parts. We'll be covering the next generation controllers, talk about our new IP controllers, and as well as the new display products. Next, Horace will walk us through the F4 SNC, which is our hybrid plant controller, which was introduced last year. We're going to be covering some of the applications, and he will walk us through some of the display demos. Next, we're going to go through the supervisory software. We're going to be just giving a refresher on the FX server and talking about the new features that is coming also very recently in the supervisory software. We'll then spend a few minutes talking also about the FX differentiators, which we call the appliance, FX appliance, and these are really the unique features that differentiate the FX product line. Last section, we'll talk about the emerging BAS trends, and we'll cover 2 new hot topics in the BAS industry, which is BACnet Secure, as well as the ASHRAE Guideline 36. So let's jump in and talk about our Facility Explorer, the next generation controllers that will be introduced, and the new display products. Next slide. So let's start with what's new with the FX Gen 4 equipment controllers. And over the past few releases, we've been modernizing our field controllers with new lineup called Gen 4 or F4 controllers. We started with the MSTP controllers, and now we're extending the line with more IP. Here are key features of these new controllers. First, they have fast processors to support better performance. They also come with more memory to support, very useful features such as background downloads, where you can download controller applications without disrupting the operation of the controller. They've got high analog to digital resolution for more accurate sensing. They also come with onboard real-time clock to support features like alarming, trending, as well as scheduling at the controller level. So it really offloads the burden on the supervisory controllers, and brings also a better system resilience. Then we have the removable terminal blocks, which make it very easy for field installation and service. Also, the method of addressing is now done through the numbered rotary switches, which is easier to read versus the older way of doing it through dip switches. The next generation of controllers come in modernized white enclosure design with rounded corners, which makes it recognizable and gives it, the FX brand identity. Next slide. So this is a table which gives an overview of all the FX Gen 4 controllers released, and highlighted in yellow here are the new controllers that are getting released soon. So starting from the left side, we have released two VAV BACnet MSTP controllers, the CVM0305 and the CVM0305-0P. And both are 8-point controllers, and the one ending with 0P has position feedback. We'll also be releasing a new 8-point VAV controller, which supports BACnet IP and BACnet SC. We'll talk a bit about BACnet SC at the end of the presentation and what that means. For the general purpose controllers, we previously released two BACnet MSTP controllers, one in 10-point, which is the CVM0406, and one in 18 points, which is the CGM0909. Later this summer, we'll be releasing two new models with the same point count to support BACnet over IP and BACnet Secure Connect or BACnet SC, also in 10 points, which is the CGE 0406 and an 18-point controller called the CGE 09090. In addition to that, we are releasing two additional controllers with integrated display and a keypad in both MSTP, which is the CGM 0909-0H, ending with H, as well as the IP variant of it, which is the CGE 0909-H. So the next few months, 5 new controllers will be added to the FX family to expand the functions and capability of the offering. In the far right, we also have 3 I/O expansion modules in 10 points and 18 points, as well as 18 binary input points model that support expanding the field I/O needed. And this is our lineup for the FX Gen 4 controllers. Next slide. So now let's take a closer look at the new models that will be coming available in May this month. The new IP controllers will be expanding and adding Ethernet models to the same controllers introduced before in Gen 4, the MSTP variants of them. They have the same powerful features we've discussed previously, so I'm not going to go through it again. And it's worth mentioning that they also support different IP network topologies, such as STAR, which we call home run cables, where every controller gets a separate IP connection and an IP port, or they support daisy chains, so they can be chained together in and out, as well as support ring IP connection or topology through the MRP or the ring manager. So we have 3 new IP models. These are the CGE 0406, which is the 10-point controller. And here for the naming convention, I'd like to just highlight that C is for controller, G is for general purpose, E here stands for Ethernet, and the numbers are the basically indication of the input and output points. So the 04 here indicates that it is a 4 input controller, and the 6 here is a total of 6 outputs. On the right hand side, we have the new IP controller, the CGE 0909. So you can guess it's an IP controller because it has an E and it has 9 inputs and 9 outputs, so a total of 18 points. At the bottom, we have a picture for the CVE 0305. It's so it's a C for controller, V for VAV box, and it is an 8-point controller with 3 inputs and 5 outputs. So this is we're gonna dive more into the details of those controllers in the next slide. So here are the 2 general purpose controllers, first in 18 points and a smaller model in 10 points. And both are supporting BACnet IP as well as BACnet SC or Secure Connect, which is coming in the summer timeframe, where we'll be adding the firmware to support the BACnet Secure. They have the SA bus and can be expanded with XPMs or the older generation PCX I/O modules. And of course, fully programmable with CCT release 10.5. Next, we have our new CVE controller, which is an IPVV controller with integrated actuator and differential pressure transmitter, DPT. It also has an integrated potentiometer which is indicated by the P here underlined, for damper position feedback. So you can determine the actual position of the damper, and it has a built-in diagnostics to see if there's any mismatch between the command and the position or the actual position of the damper. It also supports expansion through the SA bus via, adding more XPMs or PCX, the older generations of the IO expansion models. And a very powerful feature that is coming is the preloaded factory application. So the controller comes with 14 factory loaded applications. So you can simply select the applications in the field without having to create any specific application. It's also worth mentioning that it's also fully programmable with CCT release 10.5, and it can be configured with the map gateway. We'll show you in a moment how it's done. And it's also equivalent to the older generation PCB 1930, which also succeeds it. So this is a sample of the 14 preloaded applications. They support most common types of VAV applications. So supporting logic, accommodating the NS8000 sensors, and they utilize the CO2 sensors if it's present for minimum flow reset, and inclusion of a discharge air temperature sensor in cooling only applications. These apps are currently built in Imperial units, and soon we'll be releasing support for the metric units. So this screen shows how easy it is to select the VAV preloaded apps through the map gateway. And you basically just need to select the controller parameters and select the app from the drop-down menu in the app selector. So very easy to use and saves a lot of programming and commissioning time. Next, we have two new general purpose controllers with integrated or onboard display and keypad that will be available in July. They provide a local UI for controllers in a very intuitive way. So through the controller display, we can monitor points, check overrides, and adjust set points, and also view alarms and trends, which wasn't there in the older version of it. The display is 2.4 inch in size, and it's a color display with a very good resolution of 320 by 240 pixels. There's also a keypad with 7 push buttons, and which has arrows up, down, left, right, and it has an OK and a menu button, as well as back to help navigate in the controller display. The controllers will be a successor of the PCG X621 models, which were the older generation, which had integrated display. The models that are being released, we have 2 models, and both are ending with H. H stands for display, or HMI, human machine interface. And these are the CGM0909, which is you've guessed it right, an 18IO general purpose application controller with an onboard display and keypad. The CGM, since it's M, it's a BACnet MSTP or N2, or even wireless with an add-on hardware. The CGE 0909-0H is also an 18IO general purpose application controller with onboard display and keypad. It supports BACnet IP or BACnet SC. So this is the 2 models that we'll be releasing, and they will be available in July by this summer. The next product is the DLK remote display. So similar to the integrated display we've just discussed in the controllers, the DLK is the remote display version. It can be handheld or mounted on a panel. So it can monitor points, the status, overrides, and you can adjust, set points or local and view local intrinsic alarms and trends on this display. It connects to the controllers from the SA bus and compatible with all the FX controllers, new and old generation, as well as the F4 SNC supervisor controller. It has a decent size of 3.5 inch, so it's larger than the integrated display, so it's quite intuitive. with also 7 push buttons, and can be panel or surface mountable. So very flexible in the way that it can be mounted. It is powered, can be powered by the controller or an external 12-volt DC power supply. The termination also is flexible, so it can be through an RJ12 or a screw terminal, which is a pluggable screw terminal. It succeeds the older display model, the DIS 1710, which was part of the older generation FX. So quite an exciting product that is coming also in July, summer time frame. So here are a few screenshots and features of the new DLK. So we have the home screen, which displays configured points in the idle page folder in CCT. There's also equipment data menu with submenus such as input, output, parameter, and a very nice customizable feature is the user-defined pages, which can be up to 13 submenus to organize the data views in a very flexible way. So it's up to the user to decide how to structure and view their data. Also have alarm features, so the DLK can display the number of alarms present and indicates the number of new ones as seen here in the screen. So we have an alarm page which shows the list of alarms, and you can click on see only the, to see the new alarms only page. So there's an option to mark all as red, and it doesn't really acknowledge the alarm, it just marks it as red. So a very nice intuitive feature. And you can see that the alarm is distinctly shown in red, so it shows that this particular value is an alarm, and you would show the pages, how many pages, so you know where you are, and a very easy way to mark all as red. The DLK also can show trends for points that are defined, with trends. Also, it can, if any network sensor is disconnected or comes offline, there's an SA bus offline wording. So another very useful feature for the DLK. The DLK is also password protected. The default password is set as CGHXXXX, so or 4 X's. This is the last 4, when it comes out of the box, these are the last 4 digits of the MAC address if it's an IP controller, or if it's an MSTP controller, these are the address on the rotary switch. And since there are 3 fields, they would be typically starting with 0 followed by the 3 digits of the MSTP controller address. Another very useful feature is the object labels. So we have the option to display the point's title by its name or description. So it becomes easy to read for anyone in the field who is not familiar with the point naming schemes. So very nice feature as well and quite intuitive. Here we wanted to give a refresher on the XPM IO modules, which are used to expand the points for any controller that we have. There are 3 models from the new generation with 10 points, 18 points, and 18 binary input points. The XPMs are connected to the controllers through the SA bus and also support the the Gen 4 controller features such as background download and allow for firmware to update in the background at a predetermined date without disrupting the operation. So these are 3 models of the XPM or the IO modules. It is also important to know that the XPM expansion modules are compatible with all the FX controllers, new and old generation, including the F4 SNC through the SA bus. They can also be connected to the FX or the FC bus and compatible with the FX80 supervisory controllers or the SNC if it's on a supervisory network. also can coexist with either the SA or FC bus. And here's a link that would take us to the knowledge exchange that will give full details. And here in front of us in the screen are the models that is available. So it's backward compatible with all the Gen 3 as well as the new controllers that we have. So here really, just to summarize the new hardware updates, here's a slide with all the F4 family lineup, which we talked about. It is a very flexible lineup of controllers which fit all applications. So we covered the VAV controllers, the CVMs, and the CVE series. We covered the general purpose controllers, the CGM and CGE series, with and without onboard display. And we talked about the new DLK remote display. And now I would like to handle it to talk more about the F4 SNC. I'll hand it over to Horace to talk more about the F4 SNC hybrid supervisory equipment controller. Thank you so much, and over to Horace.
Wow, thank you, Yahir. So what's nice features from equipment controller. So very useful. So this part, I would like to introduce the F4 SNC, which is a hybrid plant controller and a supervisory controller. So next page. So F4 still the generation 4 hardware platform in Johnson Control. So this is a supervisory network controller. So we have a couple model to cover different application. So basically this is a controller plus a supervisory controller altogether. Next. So in the overview, actually the plant application is the target for that SNC and some small site. They come with a web browser user interface. So user can log in and edit and change logic over the web browser to make it change, to make it in the operation. So we have different built-in integrated display option. We have different capacity to supervise some MSTP field devices in the field bus, either through the MSTP or the BANET IP. So it also supports the sensor actuator bus, SA bus. So allow us to connect network sensor and some expansion I/O module to expand the I/O capacity. The model is about, we have two sizes in models. One is 28.8, 16 input, 12 output. So this is the mid-size model. Another one large size model is 40.25 input and 15 input, 25 input and 15 output. So we have the display HMI option in the model as well with a suffix H. The configuration tools is to use the same select system configuration tool SCT. Next. So this F4 SNC come with different mix, I/O mix. So that support universal input, configurable output, that support different user selectable analog or binary input output. So we have two sizes in the I/O hardware design, and we have two sizes for supervisory. We have two set of supporting different type of device connection, like 4 devices for a plant room application, or 50 devices for a small site. You can connect a 15 equipment controller in the site and supervise by one SNC. So this SNC we design with one Ethernet port that allow to connect BANET IP. And we have one FC port and one SA bus port that will connect MSTP and the JC devices on the SA bus. Inside the box, we have about 2 1,500 objects that allow for programming, including all the backnet object point and software point that will have a maximum capacity. And the supported protocol is including the backnet IP and the MSTP at this time. So next. So in more details, we have two sizes on I/O and two sizes on the supervisory capacity and the display option. So altogether, we have 8 models in the family. So all have the same communication port, but they have different capacity in the integration. For example, the big one in the first column, we support 50 devices on MSTP and 50 devices on IP. So even we can support some third-party MSTP devices altogether. So, but all that integration across the backnet IP and MSTP had to be a maximum 96. So, but this one is a big size actually to one supervisory to cover 96 devices in the application. And we have also provided a smaller size for a time room application, like the middle size. We have 4 devices support. For example, you can connect SNC with some I/O expansion together with some equipment controller, a few equipment controller. Let's say for pump, some for cooling tower, and maybe with a central logic in the SNC to make all these different plant room and the system equipment work together in supervised by single plant controller. That is the small mid-size for the PAN application. So this is flexible. You have a different choice. Even have a mid-size SNC that have maximum can support 60 devices, including IP and MSTP. So that provides you different flexibility to match with your system design and the capacity. So all this hardware are newly designed using the latest technology, the more powerful processor, and we use Linux. We provide longer-term support instead of the Microsoft in the old day that will impacted by the Microsoft end of life periodically. So that will be staying for more stable and more secure in this way. So the user interface and the memory across this is the standard, the same new generation hardware platform. That hardware platform is strengthen our future upgrade because that's a hardware platform is the basis in order us to support a future firmware upgrade that allow it to support a more feature in the future. Next. So let's look at some of the application. So for the SNC, actually we have a different type of application that's suitable for chiller plant room and HU, even fan coil unit in the zone, and you can supervise by a SNC, and even data center as designed for reliability. So you can use as SNC to cover more robust control application. So even a small site, you can connect that to supervise certain devices over one SNC. The next page. For a standalone plan application, that we have different point count to cover the equipment in the plan room, say 40 point, and you can add I/O module XPM together to expand the I/O coverage to support the whole plant room. This is the one standalone plant control application. So next one, we will see is even a smaller site. You can connect a plant together with some AHU together within a small building. So you can expand your MSTP network in the FC bus to connect more equipment controller together. Next one. Well, you have some more IP controller in the modern world in the building, so you can expand through the IP port. 50 devices on MSTP, then we allow a maximum total 96 devices in the network, including IP and MSTP. Then extend further for a large site, so you can expand the SNC, multiple SNC, to form a bigger network through the MSTP trunk and the IP trunk together and supervised by a FX server. So all will talk in a BANet IP in the integration between server and SNC. Next. Even we can work with FX80 and SNC together with supervised by FX server together. So because that all can work with together through the BANet IP. So then next, look into the SNC display. This is the integrated display similar to the equipment controller. That is a 2.4-inch high resolution color display with touch keypad. So that provide the same features. You can navigate all the point, view alarm, and see the trend and make change on the local display. So to change set point parameter in the machine room, they're excellent for the technician or the facility engineer in the machine room. They can diagnose and check the parameter in the machine room and diagnose the system immediately. So they can view alarm and see what is happening and do some trend to see the control performance in the plant. So this is excellent. And we will show a tour on this one. So we'll give you more idea what is this done for the operator. Let's go. So here's a demonstration simulate to navigate all the point when we press the keypad that will score different type of point. The color in red for alarm, and you read that they will disappear. So you can continue to view and to see the changes. So you can move around to look at the object and click to see different type of details. You can scroll on the home menu, make a change to override some certain parameter. For example, here we make a true and make a delete. How many minutes we're going to keep that override for. So one is done and click OK. Confirm it. That is done. So even though you can see other point, the live point display in there. So you can jump different point to view the status. So some point in alarm or in under the equipment data, you can define your own page. In the trend, you can pop it up to see the trend on the screen. So this is very useful. You can change the time period to zoom out the data. And you can go back and then to select other function when you do some diagnostic. Even you can change some display option there to make some description change for some point. So to make it more user-friendly to the operator. So there's a lot of information we can read from the display and make some field change. In case you complete your diagnostic troubleshooting, you can resume your point, and that you can view from there. Here still true overridden, so you can release the override function from there. So just click release and to confirm, that's it. So the whole journey is very user-friendly. So a little training to the operator, then they can learn how to use it by navigating by the simple keypad. So all of this are supported by a very useful, powerful tools. We have a SCT and the CCT to work with SNC. So the SCT is doing supervisory logic and configuration. You can edit the supervisory logic there to create point and manage the field controller in the management level. So you can set schedules and trend, alarm, totalization for the site. And the CCT is more for the controller. So you can set display which object to be explored, and then you can set all the logic or that build with the system tree with the standard application template. So you can select different application and they will automatically generate the logic for you, and then you can customize them in the CCT tools. So that also support PLAT, auto-tuning, self-learning, control logic there. So really powerful tools and work with the SNC. So that's all for the SNC at this time. I will pass to here to explore more about the Facility Explorer platform on the server side. So you're here.
Thank you so much, Horace, and thanks for walking through the F4 SNC, a very powerful and flexible device indeed, and very exciting tour for the display. Next, we'll switch gears a little bit and talk about what's new with the FX supervisory software, specifically the new graphics. And to start, we're gonna just recap on the FX server features. So it's an enterprise integration to the BS system and brings all other systems in building in a single platform. So you can manage multiple stations in a single UI. So it's a single user interface, and which has unlimited concurrent users, which is very unique. And this is really powerful. You would typically want multiple building operators accessing the BAS server at the same time, and all would be performing different functions or looking at different location facilities. The UI is web-based or HTML5, so it's quite intuitive, modern, and easy to use, and that gives the user the same experience across different devices, whether it's a laptop or a mobile device. It's a very powerful and hardened when it comes to security, which features things like single sign-on and the latest TLS data encryption. TLS stands for Transport Layer Security, and it's a higher reliance security protocol for encryption and data transmission. There's also security dashboard which was introduced in FX14.7, and it provides intuitive security dashboards and the hardened display, and shows any vulnerability issues. The FX server is also a central storage for large amounts of histories, alarms, and events. Next, I'd like to spend the next few slides showing you a sneak peek into our new modernized FX graphics, and these graphics are coming with the next software release, which is 14.11.2. And these are some screenshots on how the new graphics will look like. So here we have, for example, a home screen, which is refreshed with cards to show important information, quick shortcuts to summary information, and all elements are fully customizable. So we have a top bar here with the logo or project information. This can be adjusted with different colors or even with your customer or project logo. Theme colors are also customizable. The name of the screen on top will automatically be shown on the top bar. So whatever screen you are, it will show which screen. We've also added a navigation bar on the left-hand side, as you can see here, and it facilitates how we navigate the facility. The navigation menu is also fully customizable, with different users can have different navigation menus, And shortcuts can point to any link in the station, and shortcut icons can be customized. So it's a very customized and user friendly navigation menu. The sidebar menu widget also can be configured to mimic or have the same structure of the FX station navigation tree to access. If you have a power user who needs to access all elements in the station, this is possible. It can also be simplified to include only navigation elements that are needed in the user interface. So next slide, we'll see an example of a customized navigation tree, and this is based on the facility spaces. So this is a space-based navigation, and it's worth mentioning that the navigation is built once inside the station and will always reflect any changes in the sidebar once done. So we don't need to configure it twice. It's only done once in the station. Next, we'll see another example for a customized navigation tree, and this time it's based on equipment types. So maybe we want to show both. And this is an easy way for users, for example, if they're familiar with the equipment types, so you can arrange the equipment types in folders and easily navigate through them. Next, we have a context menu link on the bottom left-hand side where we have the blue arrow. This is a context menu, another add-on feature which can easily browse related pages such as totalization, point extension manager, and the tag manager. These are part of the FX appliance. And the context menu will show the views related to the active screens. So it will only take you to the related page, whatever is currently active on the screen. It's also worth mentioning, if we go back one page, I wanted to mention as well that the sidebar navigation has got a search capability. So if you don't know what you're looking for, we can easily search by the point name or the equipment name. So here are some few examples of how the new graphic or the equipment graphics will look like. Very modernized look and feel. So the top part of the screens will show you a 3D looking and refreshed, totally new, refreshed, modern symbols of HVAC equipment. Photorealistic, so it looks like they're rendered in a very intuitive and attractive way. And at the bottom, we'll see the data arranged in an easy way to access. Some pages will come pre-configured with trends, for example. And at the bottom right here, we can see an example of a chiller system. So a very intuitive way of viewing the graphics, and we're refreshing all the symbols. So totally new ways that would help make the FX graphic look attractive and easier to implement and navigate. So we're really excited to have that modernized and graphics coming out in the summer timeframe. So we're expecting it between July and August. So it have this part of the 14.11 to release. So looking forward to that. Next slide. So now let's talk a little bit on the FX differentiators. We'll cover two things. So one is the productivity features that are unique to the Facility Explorer platform, and the entirety or the end-to-end solution of Facility Explorer and how the tools kind of tie in together in a nice structured way. So in this section, talk about the FX appliance and productivity features. And these are really the features that set FX apart from other BS manufacturers in the market. So over the past few years, our engineering teams have developed over 20 unique productivity features that are built on top of the Niagara framework, which is a very flexible and open platform, as all of us know. But it can come a bit cumbersome or hard to work with because it can do a lot and it's very flexible. So if you're new to Niagara, things might seem a bit complicated. And this is where the FX appliance really come to play. simplifying workflows and enabling us to build robust systems quickly with very few clicks in a matter of few hours, if not a few minutes. So basically, the FX appliance enables our system integrators or contractors to go in and out of the job as quickly as possible because it's based on standards and implementations are free from potential errors. We've selected 6 of these appliance features to highlight today, but we can find more of them in the FX Workbench user guide on JCI Knowledge Exchange website. So let's dive into the first feature that we have. The first feature is the new JCI Station Wizard, and that's a very simple tool yet very powerful, and it's centered around the user need to have quickly prepare a JCI station in a self-guided way. So the user, might not be familiar with which jars to capture, which integration protocols. So the JCI Station Wizard simplifies that by, a quick and easy way to install the jar files and select which drivers needs to be installed. Very intuitive way, and you can build a station or a server or on the FX supervisor in a matter of minutes just by clicking on next, and within few minutes you'll have the station ready with all the drivers that's needed on the job. Our next feature is the JCI Import Manager, and I want to spend some time talking a little bit about it. It addresses the user need to have a consistent user interface experience across all equipment and system types. And so things like graphics, point names, and their extensions are consistent with, which really enables the user to locate information and troubleshoot problems more quickly. It is a very powerful tool that makes it easier to import and automatically pre-configure the field controllers, and even without the need to be on site or connected live to the network, which is something very convenient, especially nowadays when many of us are working remotely. So how does it work? We'll see in a moment. We basically point the tool to the CAF file. The CAF file is the field controller application, which is generated from CCT. And then all the magic happens, really. The import manager automatically creates the database for the devices and all the points associated with it. Also, the manager automatically adds any of our point extensions, such as trends, alarms, and totalization. And more importantly, and I want to stress on that, it automatically generates the default graphics for the systems. And we see here an example with the new graphics that's coming in the summer. And those graphics are fully editable. So if you want to change them, move things around, this is can also be done. And it gives a good head start with the graphics, which is quite useful for time saving. Another powerful feature is that it also automatically add tags to the points, which we'll discuss also in more details in the coming slide. And finally, it automatically tunes our BACnet network, assigning appropriate tuning policies, which is very important to optimize the BACnet network and avoid any communication issues. Next is the point extension manager, which is centered around the user need to easily view and add point extensions, configuring the tuning policies to optimize the network in a simple and quick way. So the point extension manager, basically builds a table view, as you can see on the right-hand side, for all the points that are imported, which allows us to quickly check and uncheck these points to add and remove extensions. So one quick view at the table, and we can instantly add our trends, alarms, and totalization just by checking on the point. This sets how we also we can view and change our tuning policies from the extension manager. And this sets how frequent our points are trying to communicate on the network, so we can manage network traffic to reduce any interference and build a stable system. So a lot of flexibility with the point extension manager. It simply works, and it is a huge time saver for managing point extensions versus having to do it the manual way. If you're familiar with Niagara, you'll have to go and find each point in the nav file and basically add a trend or add an alarm, and it takes time to configure that. So that's a very easy and quick way to do that. Next is the point summary manager, and it helps building operators to arrange a list of equipment devices in, by the common type point, so they're able to view them in a dynamic table and take the actions on those points. So in other words, it helps us develop a template of points in a table, and it makes it easy to view and compare it to different types of data from a similar type of equipment. So I'll give you an example for VAV info, like zone temperature in different VAVs or different zones across the buildings. So you can list here all the zone temperatures and see if you have any potential issue in any of the VAVs. It becomes very beneficial if you have a large number of equipment that are typical. So things like fan coil units or VVs, when you have that single view in a table, it allows you to troubleshoot any issues. Our next feature is the FX auto tagging, and tagging has become one of the hot topics now in the BS industry. So the user need is really centered around having a modern way to search the system and configure it maybe with the haystack tags to add more advanced features like analytics and reporting without adding labor or changes to the building system. So what we did with the FX auto tagging is we've added a full library of tags and that are applied to the points and devices automatically. That's the key thing here, that it's applied automatically. So when we use the import manager, which we talked about earlier, we automatically add all the tags in that library to the imported points. So result is we have a fully tagged system basically without doing any additional work. If we do the manual way of adding tags, it could take us hours to tag our station. So this is really something that happens in a blink of an eye just by using the import manager. So it's an easy and brilliant way to do tags, and it removes any effort needed to do it. Now, what are the applications of tagging and why is it useful? One major use is advanced search. By tagging our system, we can search with simple language like zone or temperature or even by location. And we can use also tags in analytics or advanced reporting. Many of the cloud or even on-prem analytics software and dashboards tools rely today on tags to map and aggregate this data into useful information, because every manufacturer will have different way of naming their points. Really, the tagging brings the industry together, and tagging really unifies the industry through that data conformity. So the benefit to users is now to implement tags automatically using Haystack or other tag dictionaries to allow them to use the advanced features we talked about. When we look at the Niagara framework, we can build schedules for our systems basically anywhere in the hierarchy or the nav tree. And the problem is anyone can build schedules in different locations, and it can be scattered across the nav tree or the station. So schedules can be difficult to find or locate unless we know exactly what we're looking for. So Schedule Manager here solved that problem by creating a central location to find all schedules built in the station, even if they're scattered in different places. And the benefit is that it's a one-stop for all the system schedules, and which is, it can be used to access and manage all the schedules that are, from a central interface. It can also show all devices and every point that is linked to the schedule. So really, one screen shows us the information we need on schedules. Similar to the schedule manager, the link manager is a simple tool to manage our links. which is the global data shared between multiple controllers or even supervisors. For example, we might have an outside air temperature point that we want to share with all our air handling units. So we can quickly go into the link manager, search for the point we want, example OA-T or outside air temperature. Then we can create a link to the controller that will need to use this point. The traditional Niagara way of doing it is more time consuming, of course, and complicated. So you have to go to and find the point, right click for options, and then do link mark, link from. So a bit of a process here. And even if you have links created across stations in the traditional way, the link manager can scan the station and bring all those links in a central place to easily manage and view. So a very nice and intuitive feature as well. So when we look at the big picture here, FX really plays a cohesive role in bringing the entire project lifecycle together. From the point we start putting a design for our system using Selection Navigator to generate project submittals, including, controller selection, data sheets, wiring diagrams, and sequence of operations. Then in the commissioning phase, when we use CCT or the controller configuration tool to generate our field equipment controller applications, program and simulate the application logic, and to generate the controller files, which are then imported into the FX appliance, and you can easily and automatically build our supervisory database, including points and extensions, also generate our system graphics and automatically tag our systems. Then later on, we can verify our installation by leveraging great tools like the FIT tool or the field inspection tool to troubleshoot backnet networks. We can also use the map gateway to balance our VAVs or remotely access equipment and system data, or from any smartphone or tablet. So it's truly an end-to-end solution that is meant to simplify the workflow across different phases of the project lifecycle. So kind of brings it all together here with an end-to-end solution. So this is really our final part, and I wanted to spend a few minutes here talking about, emerging BS trends, building automation system trends, and highlighting two hot topics that are gaining traction in the industry. One is ASHRAE Guideline 36, and the other hot topic is the BACnet Secure Connect. So starting with ASHRAE Guideline 36, this is a guideline that was issued back in 2018, and its purpose is to standardize or provide a uniform sequence of operation for HVAC control systems. And the intent here is to maximize energy efficiency and performance, and provide control stability and allow for fault detection and diagnostics. So the scope of the guideline is to provide those detailed sequence of operation which are already out. Then number 2 here, which is still not issued but about to get issued, and it's coming soon, to provide functional tests that can be performed to confirm those sequence of operations that were if they're implemented correctly. So what Johnson Controls did here as an early adopter to the Guideline 36, and we have actually some members of our team, part of the ASHRAE committee. We developed a set of collaterals to help our partners and integrators build applications using the guideline sequence of operations. So we have 15 CAF files, that can be imported into CCT with and 70 with implementation instructions available to download from the FX community as part of those collaterals. This is a good opportunity to work towards specifying the Guideline 36, and we should have a good advantage, against competition who might be slower to adopt those guidelines. And there's a link here. We'll be distributing the slides that can take us to those guideline 36 collaterals. Last, but definitely not least, and wanted to talk about BACnet SC or BACnet Secure and what really is BACnet SC. So BACnet SC is basically a new BACnet data link that eliminates many of the concerns owners, facility managers, and IT professionals have with BACnet today. It eliminates, for example, the need for static IP addresses and network broadcasts, which is used for BACnet IP networks, while also simplifying the configuration of its network parameters. So provides enhanced security also for the BMS network and its associated devices. So features, encrypted communication. It is fully compatible with all existing BACnet system devices through normal BACnet routing. So, alleviates IT concerns related to BMS network management. So BACnet SC provides this sophisticated network security solution that uses the standard widely accepted by the IT community out there. As we see there, and as we grow with the IP network, we see an emergence between the OT and IT world, and this is where BACnet SC will become very useful. So some features, for example, that it works easily with firewalls, and it's based on TLS 1.3, the latest transmission layer security encryption, and it uses the standard HTTPS ports, WebSocket protocols, and also, as I mentioned, fixed IP addresses are no longer required with BACnet SC. Stay tuned with BACnet SC. We're going to be discussing it in more details as we move towards the summer. We're adding the firmware for all our IP controllers, the Gen 4 IP controllers, to support BACnet Secure Connect, and we'll be probably having follow-up sessions discussing what's the workflow associated with it, and how can we have a secured BACnet network on our IP controllers. So with that, I hope this was a beneficial conversation for all the people who joined the call today. And next we'll open up for questions, and please, if you haven't already done so, please leave your questions in the Q&A section, and Horace and I will do our best to answer some of those, if time permits, all of them. So I can read through some of the published questions here. We have someone asking, can we mix XPM and PCX on the SA bus of CGE? Yes, of course, you can mix the new XPMs and PCX on the same SA bus. Both are supporting, and backward compatible together. Another question is related to, can the new FX display view and alter schedules? Not yet. This is a feature on our roadmap, and we're going to be stay tuned for more information about it. Horace, do you want to take the next questions?
Yeah. Question: can new display available with 7-inch? Unfortunately, no yet. So still, there's a remote display, still 3.5 inches. That will be considered in future. Next one, can SNC able to support N2 protocol? Yes. The F4 SNC can support MSTP or N2 protocol. in the RS-485 trunk. So that same amount of devices, when you can configurable either N2 or MSTP, still the maximum devices is 4 or 50. May I have a published date of F4CGM? Yeah, we are planning to get it in May. Yeah, to make it available. And one more is about, I've got another question for Metasys export utility application. Yeah, I think Metasys export utility is under Metasys server. So that may not be part of F4 system. So maybe that some integration work need to be done in order to integrate the data together.
I can take the next question on the JCI Import Manager. It says, how does JCI Import Manager automate N4 integration, points, trends, extension, graphics, etc. of plant controller controller under an SNC? So if the SNC is programmed using the CCT, the CAF file, we can use the same CAF file to leverage the JCI import managers to import all the points and also generate the graphics of the equipment. So it basically uses the CAF file, and it automatically knows from the CAF file what type of equipment, what are the points, and adds all the tags and graphics and trends needed. Another question, SNC not able to support N2 protocol. Currently, no. SNC only supporting BACnet IP and MSTP. In the near future, we're working on developing additional protocols, so it will be able to support N2 as well as other integration protocols out there. Question, another one is the FX navigation menu, sidebar or space-based navigation specific to JCI or Niagara feature. This is the menu widget is specific to JCI, so this is a new feature that is unique to the FX BS platform. And it basically leverages the Niagara nav tree to provide an easy way to build the navigation. So this is specific to Johnson Controls. Another question on the country of origin for the SNC, CGM, CGE. And CGV and XPMs is country origin Mexico. Yes, they are made in Mexico. I don't know if Horace, can you confirm if these are the same ones?
Yep, all are Mexico.
Okay. A question around the lead time for FX. So probably a question related to the part shortages, but this is something that definitely our operations teams are working on. Horace, do you want to take the last question on SNC?
Yeah, here we need to recheck, because I saw the catalog showing the SNC can support N2. So and the CG controller, F4CG controller as well. So I wonder that still the same CCT can configure the controller section to work with N2. Yeah, so we can double check and then we confirm. Yeah, so I believe if yes, so that N2 is a legacy JC protocol, open N2 protocol. So I think that still can read some N2 object from the trunk. Basically, I think you're referring here to about DX9100 is a Johnson Control Methods N2 controller, legacy one. So actually it's very old, so over 20 years. So maybe this is a time to upgrade and refresh that. Yeah, but basically, SMC have decided that having this option.
Okay, another final question following up on the initial one. For field controllers under an SNC on MSTP trunk, for example, up to 50 devices, do each of these controllers show up as individual BACnet devices for the N4 supervisor, or will the points become BACnet objects through the SNC? That's a great question. So if we're integrating the SNC, which is supervising some BACnet MSTP devices on the trunk, once we are integrating the SNC into the FX server, it will be shown as point objects. So it won't see the separate devices. It will only count the points inside the BACnet objects inside the SNC. I hope this answers the question. Okay, I think we've gone through all of the questions that were sent. We can, if there's any other questions coming in, I think we can hand it over to Horace. Any final comments do you have?
No, fine. So if there's no question, really thank you for all the attention and attend this webinar. It's a really good communication session to share the new product information. And we have a dialogue. We can exchange in some question, technically or commercially. So we are very pleased to support. So going forward, we do hope that we continue to support and to build the business together with the partners. So then here we would like to close the session and thank you all you attend. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yep, have a great day. Thank you, you're here.